Hey guys, I'm back with another Boost Box update, so let's get started. So I think the most exciting thing is that Paradox Rift is just hitting about $200. It's been around this point, I think like $198.99, something like that. I'm not sure if it exactly went past $199, but yeah, we're seeing it right at $200. I've said before that crossing $200 is a big milestone for a lot of boxes. Like there's usually a lot of resistance, and you see here like there's plenty of sellers selling for just below 200, even at 200 over here. And it's quite a few boxes. Like I see 10 over here. Like this is 20, about 20 boxes over here. And then a few more over here to get to past 200. Is that 8? Yeah, this is past 200. So you'd have to go draw those boxes. So yeah, it'd be great if Paradox could cross 200 tomorrow. But it's possible it won't because it's just a lot of resistance. 9 boxes being sold isn't too bad. I want to see if anyone's actually bought past 200. I don't see any confirmed sales. I see actually someone bought 200 a few days ago. And that's compared to Temporal, which is the other box in a sort of similar state, not quite the same state, but they're both hovering at like the two boxes that are most likely to cross like 200 soon. And Temporal has, even though the price has gone down to, let's see, like Paradox went up about $1. Temporal went down. It's been going down. It was at like 198, almost the same place that Paradox was, and it went to 195 and then 193. That's mostly because there's like these two sellers now, SoCal Beach and Ghastly Trading, and they're selling these 5 boxes. But after that, it goes back to about 190. That's about $200. So the temporal one's a little deceptive, but it is not the best sign to see some sellers still wanting to sell at the lower prices. For temporal, it's a little more about the demand lately. Like you see 4 boxes, 3 boxes, 2 boxes. There's just been really low demand lately. There's a bunch of higher demand before over here. I'm just gonna see, but there is 5 boxes already sold today, which helps. Yeah, Temporal is kind of just on sale. Like, these are pretty good prices for Temporal because it's gonna cost 200 pretty soon. Take into account like TCG player taxes and all that and reselling value. But other than that, like especially if you're just opening and it's all the same to you. Comparing like this price to this price, like this is definitely a more like affordable price or more bang for your buck. But not that there are other ways to get this product cheaper, like local deals or whatever. Alright, I'll just go through some other ones. Scarlet and Violet, I mentioned yesterday how it's like there's resistance at this price point. There's enough sellers selling about like 194. I'm still kind of seeing that. 194 goes up to about here, and I think it looks like it might be fewer sellers or fewer boxes. But yeah, at a selling rate of 7, it's doing okay, but it's still taking time. There's obviously more resistance and like just sellers trying to offload their boxes. Eventually, people are going to run out of these though, and there's not going to be any more. Like Pokemon's not going to reprint Scarlet Violet base. I have all the boxes they need to reprint. This is not one of them. Like I've seen them have like Scarlet Violet packs. I have the feeling that's more like less of a reprint and more of a they just found the pack somewhere, because inventory or whatever concerns. I've actually seen I saw a Danny Phantom video talk about restocks and stuff. Yeah, there's some Scarlet Violet products in there, like the Scarlet Violet base. Paldea had a little spike in demand the other day at 14. Yesterday it was 7. It's kind of stuck at this 234 price, 235 price, because Devastation listed all these boxes yesterday. It's on 100% feedback, but still a lot of boxes like a lot of people are gonna just buy these boxes instead of going like to 236, 240, and all that. And so Obsidian's next. So it's still about 215. Yeah, Obsidian's seeing a lot of resistance at this 215 mark ever since like Kane's game lowered their prices. Yeah, Devastation also appeared, and now there's all these boxes here. And Kane's game always like they usually put like 10 boxes, and then they'll just increase it or whatever. And it really influences the market price. Now all these prices are around 215 over here. So yeah, Stadium Phase also being a resistance point. I guess that like Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of resistance for a lot of these earlier boxes. Um, Suddenly, Scarlet base, Paldea, Obsidian, they're all meaning like price ceilings. Paradox and Temporal, like I think they're more likely to surpass the price ceilings in a sense, because eventually sentiment will change. Especially Paradox is like kind of hitting there, and then Temporal. Yeah, once it gets past these boxes, it goes back to 200. Um, but these boxes deserve to be like over 200. I think um, like Paldea and Obsidian, they both already reached their higher price points, like past 200. So there's a little bit of resistance because of that. It'll take like other boost boxes to rise also to also increase their prices. And Scarlet Violet base is just considered like kind of the weakest set of Scarlet Violet. And so there's natural resistance to that. Like no one usually wants to open Scarlet Violet, so it's kind of the last one that's likely to move up past 200, at least for like at least consistently. Like maybe there'll be a day or two. Um, and then Twilight, it's looking pretty good in the sense of like demand wasn't like amazing yesterday. 216, I mean 6 boxes, but it still sustained like a $217 or $218 price point. And Twilight, even went down to like 202 at one point, or 205. I see a 205 over there. So considering how inconsistent Twilight's been, during this period over here, like 2-1, from like March 21st all the way to about March 31st, it was like pretty much hovering like in like even the like 210s or around 210, maybe like 212 at most. And now it's returning back to its normal pricing. So Twilight's had a recovery. Yeah, I said before, like during that period, Twilight was basically just on sale, because like it was just too undervalued at that point. Stellar Crown is one of the boxes also being resistance. There's more boxes selling at this 207 price. It was a high at 214. Like most people just did not think it should be more than that. And there's too many people with boxes. It kind of made sense. Again, like you have to do the comparison with other boxes. Would you rather buy Stellar Crown or other boxes for about the same price? And other boxes, like I would rather have. Especially look at these price points. Like for a $10 difference, I'd rather just buy a Twilight box than a Stellar Crown box. But part of the reason Stellar Crown is popular is because it's more enjoyable, because you're more likely to get the hits. So that's part of the reason why Stellar Crown has been doing like well. And Surging Sparks this is the first time I've seen it like below. It's actually really close to 240. Except for like I don't have it tracked. I did randomly see it one day when I was checking it at night. But other than that, like every day I've been tracking it in the morning, it has not been at like below 250. Like this is even like close to 240. So I don't know what's going on with that. Like I looked at some of the listings, and let's see, this is like page 2. But I do see like quite a few boxes over here. Like this is like 243, and it goes back to 250. But for page 1, there's like a lot of half booster box and other sales. But there's a picture listing over here. So it's not the most listings in the world. Like Surging Sparks generally has enough demand that I guess I can see like why it's so consistent. Like there's just enough demand to buy all the boxes. But yeah, I do see over here, like you do see demand of Surging Sparks has gone down quite a bit. Like it was more consistent, like 20 boxes a day. And then starting around the 25th, it's been like kind of declining. It's only been one day with 20 boxes, so I don't know. We might actually be seeing a Surging Sparks or decrease in demand. You even see in this 3-month graph, like over here, it's been a decrease. So for anyone who has a lot of Surging Sparks, it would actually be time to sell some if you haven't already. The price has been so stagnant anyway. Darkness. So Soaring True base, no sales for a long time. Darkness Ablaze has just been going down. Like it went up to like 227, and it's just kind of lost all its gains. It was like it went to like 213 or 214 on the 22nd, and then 220 on the 25th, and then 227 on the 29th, and it just literally backtracked all the way down to 214. A lot of it hasn't been darkness buying activity, it's just been people shifting prices. But yeah, you see over here, not a lot of boxes being bought. People are just lowballing each other now. Or race to the bottom, whatever. Chilling Reign still at this 327 price, and 4 boxes were bought yesterday, and the sales look kind of good for that. Like if you look at the sales, you see this is like a picture listing for 300, but you see a $400 box bought, some at 330, 327, 340, 327, and you compare it to the earlier boxes, you don't usually see sales as high. They're usually more toward like 300. So that's a pretty good sign for Chilling Reign. I do want to see Chilling Reign go back up. I feel like it's just always had this potential. Like, you know, if someone just bought these 3 boxes, it would go to like 346. Hasn't really reached it there, so there's been like resistance. But it has some really, like, it doesn't have the worst setup for a price rise. And I feel like people underestimate Chilling Reign because out of all the packs, it's the one I see people like get the least. Like I don't really see any Chilling Reign in the wild. Like I've seen, the only thing I've seen is like the Fusion Strike Chilling Reign 2-pack blisters at Target sometimes, where I see people get those. But you know, people find Fusion Strike in like anything after Fusion Strike, you can get in Legendary Warriors right now. But like before, you know, of all these guys is very rare, and then like you can't get Chilling Reign, and so like I feel like people are like, I don't know, underestimating Chilling Reign right now. It's really hard to get. But I think that's also why it's not getting as much attention. Evolving Skies, I kind of backtracked. It was starting to get some optimism for it. I went to 1340, 1330, 1336. Now it's back to 1325. Mostly because there's this one seller every year. Then it goes back to about 1327, 1330, something like that. So yeah, Evolving Skies also has had a runway. Like I keep counting the number of boxes until 1400. One day it was 3, one day it was 4, now it's 5. So, but it's definitely a worse look than Chilling Reign because they sold less boxes and there's more boxes between it and the target price. Fusion Strike, 3 boxes sold yesterday. It's actually gaining some momentum and demand. It's still kind of stuck at this price point. Unfortunately, there's not enough demand. Like enough sellers just keep adding themselves at the bottom of the list. But if it keeps this up, it'd be pretty good. Like yeah, 3 boxes is a pretty good number. 2 boxes and 1 boxes, it's kind of a little too slow right now. Brilliant Stars, only 1 box sold yesterday. Yeah, it's really stuck at this $300 mark. It went down to about 296. Astral Radiance is also pretty stuck. Yeah, there's a very little demand for Astral Radiance. Lost Origin is, yeah, there hasn't even been any box the last couple of days. It's kind of rare. Like you see, like there's like all those like the white spaces are like day gaps. This is a 2-day gap. This is another 2-day gap. It's almost a 3-day gap. It's kind of rare for Lost Origin this month. But yeah, there's like too many boxes. But game below like 403. In the Silver Tempest, it went down to 277. Still not too bad. It just reached 277 the other day at the 30th. But yeah, it's lost the recent gains. And it's sold 1 box yesterday. Normally it's more like 2 boxes, but at least it kind of sold something. After this box, it goes back to 280, so it's just this 1 box on sale. Alright, that's it for today's video. Thanks guys, bye.